Hey everybody, Amy here with Garden Up. Today what I'm going to be doing is pruning this weeping cherry that's behind me. A little bit of history on this tree. I've been taking care of it for about 6 or 7 years. Many years I've been pruning on this tree. The problem that we keep having is that the grounds crew for the housing development where this property is, every year they send out arborists, people that say they know what they're doing with their trees. For the most part, they do an okay job, but every time they touch a weeping cherry, they just destroy it. So I've been fighting an uphill battle. We've tried to get them to leave this tree alone, and they just don't. You can see that they gave it the bowl haircut, the flat on the bottom, which is absolutely not what we would have wanted. They left all of the suckers, and they made a whole bunch of incorrect cuts. And to be quite honest, every time they touch my trees, they set me back years. Like, I had this tree absolutely perfect a few years ago, and then they kept messing with it. So we're back again to try to fix the tree again. But this time I wanted to record the progress and how to do it. And I thought maybe other people might have the same problem where they're trying to repair a pruning job that was done wrong. Little bit of pruning 101. Whenever you prune a tree, the first thing you're doing is you're cutting out dead and dying branches and tissue. The second thing you cut out is diseased tissue. Then you cut out adventitious growth, like suckers. Then you cut out crossing branches and branches that are going to be crossing or rubbing. Then you can cut for the aesthetics of the tree. But you have to take care of the tree's health first. What we want to mostly touch on today is the adventitious growth, because there was a lot of it left behind. And what that means is water sprouts and suckers, branches that aren't doing the tree any good, really. They grow straight up. You can see several of them on this tree. And then they also they photosynthesize, but they don't flower and they don't bear fruit, so they're not really any good for us. They take a lot of the tree's energy, and they're poorly attached, which means they can break off easily, which can damage and injure the tree. So we don't really want to leave water sprouts on the tree. They grow really fast and they get really heavy. Sometimes the water sprouts get bigger than the branch they're attached to, and that's when you risk them just breaking off. So I'm going to do a walk around the tree with you and show you what I see when I look at this. All right, so what I look for when I approach a tree is all of the things I just mentioned. There is a dead branch here, but that was probably cut and just left, as in it was missed when they pruned it last. But I also see up there a very poor pruning cut. Internodal, right in the middle, it's a sucker. So at least they cut off a sucker, but they didn't cut it off in the right place. So I'll have to correct that. I see lots and lots of suckers. The thing that really got my attention was this down here. So this, you can see, that's what a sucker looks like. It's got a different type of bark than the rest of the tree. But if you follow it up, it looks like they cut it up there. So there are 3 suckers here, all growing very close together. And they are not just crossing, they are actually twisted around each other. So that checks off 2 of the things you should prune, and that should have been taken off. Where you should make a cut is right here. This is called the branch bark collar. And with water sprouts, there are usually several more nodes, several more growth points right around this. So you actually want to cut into the collar just a tiny bit on water sprouts. Do not do that on a normal branch. I'll show you how to do a correct cut on a normal branch shortly. This branch here, now that I'm up here, this has got some peeling of the bark. Like, this is the inside. This is the bark. This is all callus, which is trying to cover up a wound. So this branch is not doing well, but it's one of the few remaining original branches on this tree. There's also this. This cut was done by the so-called arborists that came back a few years ago and whacked away on this tree. About 2 weeks after I had done my annual prune, they came and butchered everything that I had done. I'm a little bit irritated, if you can't tell. But they left this water sprout right here, so, that's lovely. But at least it's still got this. Because the thing is, the best way to correct this would be to take it down at the next joint, but that's a water sprout. The next joint is the main trunk. So I don't want to take this whole branch off unless I absolutely have to. So I think I'm going to try to salvage this branch and just take off that water sprout. There's another crossing branch right here that has been crossing for so long that it's completely pleached, but that I've actually intentionally left because I don't want to take out either of those branches. There's a little bit of a gnarl up at the top there. So yeah, that's the main thing today is just water sprouts. So it's actually, I've spent a lot of hours up in this tree, and that's actually not too terrible. Well, let's get started. The only tools I'm using today are my big loppers and my hand pruners. I usually bring a saw, but I don't think I'll need them. As always, when I make a cut with pruners, I want to make sure that the cutting side is on the side of the branch that I want to keep, so that I'm cutting the good part and crushing the part of the branch I'm going to throw away. Here's the sucker. This branch looks like it could be a sucker, but it is actually weeping, so it's growing in the right direction. This one, same thing. So I suppose if I were to have to take out another one, I would take out this one, because I think I can get the pruners in right here. These are crossing anyway, so they're not really in a good position. Yeah, I'm just going to take out all three of these. It's unfortunate, but that's what I'm going to have to do to get out the sucker. This was cut, a stub was left, and this right here, you can see this is callus. It's trying to cover up this open wound. This is how a tree seals itself after it's been damaged. It's kind of like how we grow scabs. Trees grow calluses. But this callus is never going to get over this stub. It's just not going to happen. And that's why it's so important to cut trees at the right spot. Okay, so here you can see that's a sucker. You can see how the bark is different, or water sprout, call it either one. But right off of it is growing another water sprout. So it's a water sprout with a water sprout. And you see how this second water sprout way up there, the width of the branch is actually wider than the branch it's growing off of. Very well could fall or break, or anything could happen there. So that one needs to come out. This had lateral branching that was probably fine, but when they topped the end here, this lateral branching looks like it almost turned into a water sprout. Now it's growing straight up and out. The bark has changed, and it's not a good thing anymore. This one's doing the same thing, but I'm just going to take it back this far. For now, I'll take back the next one next year. So here we've got another one. I just made this cut, but I'm going to come back and clean it up later. We've got a branch with a normal branch coming off of it, and then this adventitious water sprout coming outside. The water sprout was as big as the branch it originated from, so that we need to take off. And then this up here is another one that was cut incorrectly. It was a perfectly good branch. They cut it off there, and then that stimulated adventitious growth, another water sprout that is as big as or bigger than the branch it came from. Okay, so here's another one, water sprout growing straight up. This one came out of this knobbed end of a branch. Almost looked like somebody was trying to pullard it, but that wouldn't have been me. It's coming from right here, and I'm not going to be able to get that with my loffers, I don't think. Oh, maybe from this angle. Yeah, we'll give it a try from this angle. But I'm going to cut it off up top there just to get the majority of it off and take the pressure off of the joint. And then I'll come from underneath and see if I can cut it off there.